Howdy folks, my name's Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, a better turner as well. Lots more practice, that is the secret sauce. But also, the more I work with other turners, I also teach. The more I work with other turners, the more the things that I say get cemented into my own head. And reinforces that learning, that skill, and with the practice that goes with it, um, it's a evolving circle. I think it's pretty cool. Um, I got started turning as therapy for PTSD. I'm a disabled vet, and I found out that I had a knack for it, and I just fell in love with it. So here we are. Let's see. Tonight I'm starting on a hollow form, and let's turn this camera down here. I think maybe I should do that too. So I got started on this just a little bit earlier. It was a kind of a squarish shape. This is a piece of crotchwood. I can't swear to the species, but it is very hard wood. So going around, now that I've got it into basically a cylinder shape, I'm seeing uh, all of this figure in here. There's a little bit here, but not much. I've got this split that has to go, and then I've got, as I said, this was a crotch piece, so this is a pith part left over, so the pith comes out over here and over here, so I've just got that split right there. I don't think either one of these will be too big of an issue. I did get rid of all the other splits while I was turning. This is one that I broke away. That's why that surface is so goofy. But I'm at kind of an interesting spot here. I want to try to save all this figure that's there. I don't know what I'm going to find in there, but the crotch part, I mean, I'm going to have figure all through here. So what I did was I set myself up for a different center. Let's see if I can pull this off here. All right, let's get that center set. And that guy set. So it's going to give me kind of an oblong shape right at the start, but let's see, that's not working so well, so let's try. That side's not going to work either. I think I might need to recut this. But let's see. Yeah, I just can't get it to grab there. I can't take this to the band saw. So I'm going to cut it a little bit real quick with a hand saw. Let's not use that one. Let's use that one. And we'll adjust this angle a bit. I thought I had it right, but clearly I don't. Now let's try on this side. Trying to hold it between the ways, on the gap between the ways. There we go. And I'll shave this side down a little bit. Take about a 1/4 inch off of it. right. Using a Japanese pull saw. I really like these saws. Definitely different than pushing on the cut. All right. Just need to be able to get my center in there. Whoopsie daisy. Toss that light around. Redraw this line here. Go through the center. This line comes up this way. Oops, missed it. Try to keep it relatively centered, or at least pick a center and go with it. All right, that might bite enough to let me give it a new shape and then set up for a chuck. See how secure we are. All right. So I don't think I'll have much vibration, but basically I'm going to wind up with a smaller cylinder like this. I'm hoping to capture as much of this figure as I can, and at the same time I got to get rid of that. And most of this split should be gone too by the time I'm done. Glasses down. So I know everything's gonna clear. This is why I like working between centers when I'm starting a piece if I can, because then I can work. I can move the piece around. If I see a feature I would want to keep, I can adjust, but once I have the tenon set for the chuck, that's my axis. Won't go back. I won't be able to go back. See what we got here. All right, we're getting there. As always, when you're turning, make sure you tool the truck, wooden truck. The tools make for a much happier experience. Could make a joke and say sharp tools save lives, but hey, sharp tools are important. And being able to recreate your ground is also important. I think I will have just enough. There's that split. Okay, that should be enough. Well, not quite. Almost enough for tenon. I got a fairly good line there. So yeah, all this stuff is what I want to try to capture. My tool rest just a wee bit low. There. And as I said before, I'm always going for like the best piece I can get. Hey, how you doing, Squawk? The best piece I can get out of a piece of wood. Glad the bees at the zoo are doing well. I want to start working on splits, but next couple of nights is going to get down into the 30s. And I don't want to chill the brood. Kind of playing a waiting game, which sucks.
Lake City had an outreach education seminar tonight. Thank you for the
you are welcome. I don't know why you weren't getting them, but yeah, I was getting them. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I just need to get this down a little bit. Get a contiguous surface all the way around, no flat spots, so my chuck can hold on to that. Oh, you know, I need to put this saw away. 1 sec. So, what kind of outreach program was it, man?
Paranoid Squatch said.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, there's some, I got a lot of figure there. There's some figure right in here. Like I said, it wasn't going to be much, but it's a good start. So I'm going to work with this. Let's get the parting tool out. There we are. Snapped off. But that's okay. That piece won't bottom out in the chuck. That's why I was cutting all that off. However, now I don't have. And this is what I mean by why I like to cut it off. This all this tear out here actually goes below this surface. And if that was the bottom of my piece, then that would be an unintended design change and could be catastrophic. So I typically will either leave, well, actually typically I saw it off. I make a small tenon and cut that little off with the parting tool. I make it, very, very small diameter and then cut the rest off so I don't tear and pull those fibers out like that. So I've got a round dude here. I'm going to reset my center on this side. I should have set it for the chuck before I did the parting, but I didn't. Alrighty. Let me get my center punch. It's going to be right there or relatively close to it. I'm still just roughing out the shape, so it's not super critical, but I want to get as close to the original center as I can. Make sure that's nice and secure. Let's see, grab a spindle gouge. Yeah, it's a little bit off some, but I've got enough timber here that making a smaller or narrower tenon won't mess things up. Alright, so now we're ready to move over to a chuck. Get the mallet. Be nice if I could just twist it off like I am with this one, since it's a Morse taper, but I can't get the wrench on this when it's in the, or on the live center when it's in the quill. Okay.
Open screen 5. Say, visit Dave Life's co-fi page at https://co-fi.com/HIIMDAVE ? Ref equals Twitch.
There we go. So you can see there's a lot of beetle damage on this piece, so that might add some interest. There's the rest of what's left of that little bitty pith split. That's almost gone. And that split's gone, so that's a bonus. All right, let's swap out tool rest here. That's close. And we'll start refining the shape some more. See, that'll give me a good collar. Well, yeah, I don't have to worry about that too much. A little dip in there actually might add something to it too. So let's just work this surface. A little bit better curve there. All right, I'm going to take my straight edge. Now, what I like to do is I like to take my straight edge, lay it on the long end, right? And then tilt it one direction or the other so it's right on one corner or the other. Put light behind it and see where the shadow is underneath to gauge my curve. I don't want any flat spots. Nice, smooth, flowing curve. I don't want to take too much off. I need the strength of the wood let me hollow it. So I think I'll just stick with that for now. And do a little shear scrape in here. Let's see, let's take that out of the handle. Shear scraping is a very, very safe cut to make. I prefer to have the steel unhandled so that I can get around tighter corners. The handle's not getting in my way. And since this is a safe cut, I can get away with that. Can't get a catch. I can booger up the surface, but I can't get a catch. So that cuts down my sanding quite a bit. You can see all that figure in there, a little bit there, just a little bit right there. Pretty groovy. Let's get the rim of this dude set up. Be done properly. And now I can do a little bit of sanding on the outside of this dude. Don't need much. Sharp tools are absolutely awesome and indispensable, I think. Let's see, let's go with this guy first. So since this is a harder piece of timber, and again, I'm not really sure what the species is. Where's my 220? Let's set that guy there. While I look, there it is for my 220 grit paper. There we go. Oh, nice little tip too. This pad here, this Velcro side, does occasionally, after use and after a while, it will want to start to peel up. Because every time you peel these off, you're kind of pulling off on that. And to extend the life of this dude, I used number 77 spray glue, and it works really well. It holds on for a while. Oops. I really need to wear a mask. So let's put that on. All right. So really, I just want to focus on this more or less top 2/5 or top third, because I still gotta finish the shape down there. I know I'm gonna wind up cutting into this part a little bit to get that curve to come around. No point in sanding it. Here's 220. Not sure how I'm going to finish this, guys. We'll see what it looks like when hollowed out. Oops. A bit of work right there. So the tool mark I wanted to get rid of is a sanding mark, but I wanted to get rid of it. So if y'all are in Traverse City on July 26th, I hope you choose to visit the Christmas Tree Art Center Art Fair. That is a Saturday, July 26th, at the Civic Center in Traverse City. I will be there at the art show with the booth. Stop by and say hi. If you're in Sutton's Bay, the weekend after that, I will be at the Sutton's Bay Art Festival as well. So if you happen to be that way, stop in and say hi. All right, now the fun stuff. Well, it's all fun stuff, but being slightly sarcastic. All right, I can get rid of the mask now. Cool. So I like the way the grain is going on the piece, which is another reason why I shifted it. We'll see how the hollowing goes, since it will be sorta. Well, when I'm doing, excuse me for a second, to kill the mic. So when I'm normally doing a piece, in spindle mode, the grain is usually running this way. So when I'm cutting into it, I'm cutting all, excuse me, a lot of end grain on the inside, or rather side grain on the inside. Now I'm going to be hitting some end grain on this piece, so we'll see how that works with the hollowing with a spindle gouge. Too low, I think. Let's see. Yeah, just a little bit. Let's try that. I need to move my tool rest further back. If I could raise it up just a skosh more, just so I'm not getting vibration. Go. And just push the tool straight in the drill out. Okay, I think that's good enough to start. When I'm working with pieces too, one of the first things, because you work with the outside first most of the time. I want the outside shape to be at its final form, so I'm really making sure that the curve is smooth and flowing. I don't have any flat spots where I've worked. I'll have to, when I get this flipped around, come from about here and finish off the bottom of the piece, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I want that curve to be smooth and flowing all the way through, no flat spots. Because it's the flat spots that look different and it draws the eye. It's chattering a lot more than usual, but again, it's because I'm cutting a lot of end grain here in the hollow. And it looks like it's time to sharpen the spindle gouge. I think I will swap actually to, can I? Maybe I should stick with this. Well, no, it seems pretty sharp. I'm getting, feeling a burr there, so. chatter. Whoo, that's warm. So yeah, I'm going to swap to the larger spindle gouge. That will give me a little bit more mass in the tool, and hopefully should dampen down the vibration some. Nice little ring to it. Getting down to almost to my wall thickness here. Really hard. That does for me. Oh man, I'm almost finished with this part. Cool. Just lost my Allen wrench to the shavings on the other side because of the vibration. But I'm really cutting into really hard wood. All right, so I'm going to leave, I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't know, maybe not. Let's see. Pushing out some of this bug dust by making the cuts. Yeah, that's a little thicker than I really want. Here's really nice, but I see there's a little bit of a split happening there, so I don't want to go back this way again, because again, this is all end grain. I'm going to keep my fingers out of there until it stops spinning. Let's see, I'm going to go a little bit more. Really nice depth. Let's get this. It's just this in here. It's working. Yeah, she's coming apart. You can see all that, all these cracks. So this particular hollowing system or mode of hollowing doesn't really work well with end grain. So, all right, that piece is bummer. I wanted to save that, but it's pretty well toast. So we'll move on to the next one. That's what I was worried about with this piece, but I hadn't done the inside's like really clean too. That's such a shame. No tool marks in there except the very, very bottom, which I could get. Let's think about this. I'm like essentially done hollowing it. Essentially, just got to get that bottom. And then I can turn this. So maybe I can get away with finishing it. I should be able to hold that fine and then finish the outside. So you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. What the heck? Let's see what happens. All right, I'm going to take this guy. And then find a way to utilize those cracks in the final piece. That's looking pretty good. That's looking really nice. Nice and smooth there. Let's take care of the bottom. Let's see, I got a flashlight around here somewhere. Oh, no, yes. Oh, wrong tool. Well, that worked pretty well. Just a tiny bit of a nub in here. And that got it. Nice.
Visit Dave Life's co-fi.
Okay, so we'll finish off the outside of this piece, and you know, it might still survive.
/HIIMDAVE question graph equals Twitch.
You know, I don't like that. I am going to just make another pass on the inside. Let's make sure it's not running through. So I have clearly move the piece around. Closer. Nope. Should have marked it. But honestly, I didn't think I was going to continue with the piece. Okay. Should have cleaned that little bitty little bit out of there. Not quite. Well, I'm afraid that's just going to have to stay. All right. Now we'll see if it survives this part of it. I'm going to bring out the tailstock to have support. Let's get the tool swapped out again. Yep, that did it. All right, no worries. I was expecting it. All right, next guy will be this one. That's a bummer. That was an interesting piece of wood. Kind of funky. It happens. All right, let's see where I need to set this guy. Somewhere in there. And we will start off on the balance point. Just gotta bring it up just a little bit. Probably went too far that time. Just a little bit. is fairly well centered. Balanced, I mean. Am I moving backwards? The tailstock is moving backwards.
Paranoid Squatch said, "Oh, that's a different piece. What happened to the last one? Or is it all wood chips?"
The last one flew apart. All the splits. I cut through one of the splits and it just came apart. So we're on to the next guy. That is not biting in. What's the deal here?
Paranoid Squatch said, "Oh man, well, it happens, huh?"
Yep, it does. Wood is a natural product, and all of the stuff that comes with that, the different species of tree, the different things you can find, the features and stuff you can find in the wood, all affects it. So, and of course, that was the first time I was attempting to top cut, working with mostly end grain on the inside. All right, let's get the bigger guy. And with the top cutting, you really want to have side grain. And I figured I'd give it a shot and see how it turned out. All right, that all clears. I'm way off the tool left here, but I've got everything tucked into where it needs to be. Don't just blindly copy what I'm doing. Make sure that you stay within your own skills level, and as always, you're responsible for your own safety. As always, err on the side of caution. Only moving as fast as the tool can cut. And this guy, I think I'm going to turn it into a calabash style bowl if this punkiness isn't too bad.
I would probably be good at sweating up chips also.
Yeah, I'm not. See, I got a split right there. That is not cool. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get rid of that. Definitely got a branch that was coming through there. This is not a crotch piece, but this was a. Let's see. Oh, I can see the branch went about that way through the tree, or came out of the tree, because I can see the pith over here. going to be able to get rid of this split that's here. Oh, sorry, right there. Well, that might be a split too. So this may be a non-surviving piece. But you can't always see all of the things you're doing. Until you cut into it. So I could probably fill all of that in. I'm really more concerned about these splits here. So for calabash bowl, it's a wide curved bottoms. It's not flat. It's got just a little bit of curve to it. No foot on it. Hey, OB. How's your Wednesday going? Hey, man, doing all right. I had one piece come apart here just a little while ago. Moving on to the next one, but yeah, not too shabby. How's yours? Switch to a smaller, shorter tool rest. Let's go back to this guy. All right, so I've got quite a bit of material to take off there yet. Well, I'm still cutting air. Yeah, right there. Okay, that's right though. Smaller bowl. Excuse me. Smaller bowl. That's okay. I want the best piece I can get. Pardon me, man. How was your Star Wars day? Oh, hey. Thanks, Captain OB, for
Captain One said, "The
the
fourth
fourth was with me.
Captain One said, "Oh."
Thanks for the subscription, man. Hey, by the way, how you doing on your own streaming and stuff, man? Just a little bit left, but I'm not going to worry about that. Good golly. Got a shaving at the back of my throat. Me trying to talk while shavings are flying, and so I'm coughing. I may try to wash it down with some water. Have that fiber. I'll kill the mic for a sec. No, it was not you. It was me. Sorry about that. Thanks for the heads up.
Captain Not One said, "K, all good."
My bad. So I think I'll fill this crack first before I go any further. This isn't green wood, so I think I will use some red bark, a red sawdust.
Captain Not One said, "I'm hitting all my volume buttons. Thinking I muted you or something on accident."
Oh, sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. I don't even like coughing into the microphone. So I shut the sound off for a second while I did that. Let's see. I need some glue, some accelerator, and then I need some red sawdust. I think red sawdust will work really nicely right there. Oh, maybe I could use. I could use some brass, but I think I'll go with red. Let me see. Where's that guy? That's brass. That's brass. Where's my red guy? Where's my red guy? Maybe I moved it inside? That would be strange, but possible. Take a quick look inside and see if it's on the counter here. Nope, it's right there next to the bandsaw that's in my kitchen. Or in the kitchen, I guess I should say. I rent this place. And at some point during the summer, I will have made enough room in the garage/studio to accommodate the new bandsaw. It's not working. Let's try this guy. I really try to pack this stuff in really well when I'm doing a crack like this, because the glue is going to go down in there. I don't know how far this split goes, but if I can get it fairly deep, then I've got a chance of meeting the wall thickness on the inside. A little bit more of that. I found when I'm sanding and stuff like that, different colored woods, I save the finer sawdust for stuff like this. I can do little color additions or color changes, and I could use the mica or whatever, but I figure like this way I'm using more of the actual tree for everything, all the way down to the sawdust. And I think for this guy, I'm going to want, probably not, but I'm going to get it anyway. I'm going to grab a glove so this doesn't get all over my finger. Hopefully the glove won't stick to it. Oh man, it's been a while since I've used CA glue. I forgot about the lovely odor. There we go. A little bit more on there. And push that in.
Perla said, Perla, hey.
Pirtle, first time chat, and Raider from Raider. Hey, how's it going? Rating with a party of 10. No kidding. Hey, welcome all. Thanks for coming by, man, and checking out the channel. I don't know if any of y'all are woodturners or.
Ubrix said, hey, Chahi. Perla said, what are we turning? Ubrix said, hi.
I am working on a calabash style bowl, and a calabash style bowl, the upper rim is slightly curved inward. The bottom is a wide, rounded bottom. There's no foot to it. Normally they're larger because they're meant to hold like the whole meal, stew, or whatever. Everybody sits around it. The reason why it has a round bottom, so they can kind of tilt it toward them, fill up their bowl, and let it go back, and then people can just sit around the bowl. Usually, like I say, they're much larger, but this is just a smaller calabash style. Stews, soups, gumbos, jambalaya, all that kind of stuff goes into
said, visit Dave
calabash style bowl.
https://co-fi.com/HIIMDAVE ?
And I'm using, to fill this split here where this branchlet came through the tree here, and that split, of course I couldn't see that. It was inside the wood, but let's hit that one more time. But I felt it was probably a smarter idea to fill the crack now than try to worry about it later. It is a seasoned piece of wood, but later on in its life, when it moves to a different climate, if it does, that could make a difference in the longevity of the bowl. So let's set that. And now I'll go back and start working on my shear scraping here. So I'll take the tool out of the handle. The handle's only going to get in the way.
Paranoid Squatch said, how long have you turned wood for, and why did you choose this art form?
Hey, thanks. That's a great question. I've been turning wood since about 2015. And I started turning wood. I'm a disabled vet. I usually say this at the very beginning of my broadcast. I did today too. But I started turning as therapy for PTSD. And it really works. Turning takes a lot of practice, but all that practice has been my therapy. Nights that I couldn't sleep, bad dreams, whatever. To pick up a tool, come out to the shop, and turn something. and get things calmed down in my own brain so I can go back to bed if that's my thing. Or there's been many nights that I just kept turning and got so where wake up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning from a deep sleep, have a nightmare that my own personal schedule started changing where I stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning and then go to bed. But this has been a fantastic outlet for therapy. It's been really, really great. Okay, so now I can sand the outside. Shear scraping did a really nice job. Get rid of the rest of that red there. In fact, I think very light touch. So I talked to everybody about artist therapy, more specifically wood turning as therapy. I really like to take the time to talk to veterans about alternative therapies. I'm a beekeeper. I got started with the Here's the Hives project about 7 years ago now, maybe 8. I can't remember. Squatch would remember, I'm sure. And Squatch says 10 years. Wow. Well, about 7.
Paranoid Squatch.
Or 2015, yeah.
2019.
Yeah, 2019. Okay, so that's when I started with the. For 7 or 8 years, I've been a beekeeper. Since neither one of us can really remember right off the top of our heads. Paranoid Squatch got me involved in that. I don't remember how we met, to be honest. But he got me, he clued me into the Here's the House project, and we started taking the course together, and became pretty good friends, I think.
Paranoid Squatch said, we met up Heroes to Hives in Lansing.
Oh, okay, all right. It must have been the first time I was checking it out to see what if it was worthwhile or a joke or whatever. But everybody I met there was just pretty awesome. I didn't think. I mean, I thought keeping bees is relaxing. That sounds strange, and it does kind of sound strange because it's very relaxing. But yeah, clearly I kept up with it. I've been a beekeeper since 2019, so 7-8 years. Well, no, I guess it would be 7 years because the first year I didn't have any bees, but that is also a recommendation that is in the course, that you don't try to keep bees and take the course to learn about keeping bees at the same time. So I went through the course for a year. It's for an entire beekeeping season. I went through the course for the year, and then the second year I was taking the course, I started keeping bees. Second year. Now, every year I keep up with his hives. Because, well, for one, because it's a great organization and I really enjoy getting the chance.
Just 2 to 3 years of education before keeping. Just
Yeah,
so much to learn.
There is a ton. But again, that's why I keep going back to the program. It is free to veterans and their dependents. But there's always new science, new information, new studies done. That is something that I'm actually going to have to do when I get through the master's portion of the master beekeeping program.
You are also a veteran. Less than 3.
AJ Brooks. Yeah. Oh, cool. I'm glad he took a look at it. Thank you. I also have a website. Actually, I'll just put the website down, and that's where I got a lot of my turn pieces. Some of them, well, a lot of them show up on Instagram, but not all of them. Let me throw down my website.
Dave Rive said, WODTURNSTO.art.
If y'all would like to take the chance to take a look at the website, you'll see a lot more pieces there than what's on the Instagram. Some of them will be the same, but I do update my website. I do. That's actually where my web store is at too. At almost 60, having to learn how to do internet marketing. It's not an easy thing. Okay, that looks really, really clean. And I like the shape. Let's take a look at this curve one more time. Oh, yeah, that's nice. No flat spots. Gotta have no flat spots. It's got a little bit of a mark there. I can't really tell if it's in the timber or not, so I'm actually going to replace that piece of abrasive and get a new one, which may or may not have fallen off the lathe. It must have, because I don't have it right in front of me. What's this? No, I see. I put it away like a thinking person to get it out of the way. And here I was thinking I didn't.
Bricks said, got it checked. Follow here and don't it? Rat stuff. Be happy to see you online again.
Groovy. I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Love to see you back, man. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking things out. Appreciate it. All right, did that take care of it? Why, it sure did. Cool. So I'm done sanding the outside, except for this little bit bottom of the bowl that I'm going to turn this tenon away from. I need this tenon to hold it in the chuck so I can finish the bowl itself. I'm not sure. Whoops, let's do one more thing. I'm not sure how thin I'm going to make the bowl. Some of that kind of depends on the timber. So my go-to is to not part through the tenon. I rarely do that because of the tear out that it can create in the bottom or wherever, on the piece itself. So I'll just make a smaller diameter tenon and then cut the fibers instead of tearing them out. Even with a sharp parting tool, you can still pull fibers out, tear them. This way I don't have that issue. None of the fibers have been pulled out of the bottom. Okay. Sorry, one moment. Gonna go dark again. What's this? Paranoid gift. Hey, I didn't hear Try Ray Ray say anything, but he's here. Hey, thanks for coming back. Life in Pain, yeah. TC Smo is out here somewhere, I guess. Thanks for joining. I appreciate the subscriptions for sure. Thank you very, very much. All right, let's get this guy out of here. There we go. That way I don't have to beat my lathe to death to get that out. Yeah, my tendon's a little bit big, but that's okay. For some reason I'm guessing it's the chorus from a song by Pink, you know, it's time to get this party started. I don't know why. It's there in my head. I don't normally listen to Pink. That just happened to be in my brain. There we go. Still got to beat the tailstock, though. Because I can't get the wrench around the taper. Not that I want to mark up the taper anyway. But it's the only way to get it out of the tailstock. All right, let's see. Got that guy. Let's move that away. Get rid of the spindle gouge. And that spindle gouge. Brace is toast. Let's finish off the bowl. You know, come to think of it, this actually might be ash. Ah, hell. There's another split right there. Damn. Well, I don't think this bowl is going to survive. Can barely see it, too. It's just a tiny little hair crack. And hopefully this will... I just sanded that, too. That's a bummer. I don't know if that's going to keep the crack from going anywhere, but we'll give it a shot. At least it's seasoned wood, it's not green, so... Let me get rid of the glue mark. Almost. One more time. I might get away with it mostly because it's ash. I might be able to get away with that. Little crack being there. We are definitely going to find out, though. We're going to find out. This may be one of those broadcasts that nothing works out. I mean, again, it's lumber, and it is a natural product. There are all kinds of issues, I guess, if that's a word you want to use, of all kinds of things that can happen that could make a piece of timber pretty much unusable for turning. And many times you don't find it until you've already cut into it. My favorite is getting down to really close to being finished and finding, or having a split just come apart. One that you couldn't see or didn't see, which is another reason why I often stop and check and see what's happening with the wood, because things can change pretty rapidly. All right. Do I need? Not quite. So yeah, okay. So if you look, yeah, you can see that in this camera. There's a split right there. That you couldn't see it on the top surface. But there's a split that goes this way. And it looks like that was, yeah, that's part of that pith that comes out through here. So that's that branch that was coming through the tree. Looks like this is where the branch actually started growing, was because it's closer to the pith of the main tree. So it started growing here and came out there. But all kinds of hidden features in lumber. You never know what's there. I think it's, well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I said it's like Christmas. When you break into a log, you don't know what you're going to find. You can have some idea based on, what you see on the outside, but inside the timber itself, it's impossible. You can't see it until you cut into the thing. Well, I'm thinking it's time for a tool change, or rather a change of tool steel. Seems like this is a little dull. Yep. That is a spindle gouge. I don't want that. Ooh, hey, there we go. Freshly sharpened tool steel. I love it. All right, let's angle this in a little bit. Actually, let's do that. Oh yeah. That's what I needed. Sharp tool. Sorry, what'd you say, man? Let's see. Starting early for next year's Empty Bowl fundraiser. Oh, always. Always. This year's fundraiser was the biggest ever to date, which I think is amazing. Had a lot of fun doing demonstration turnings at last Sunday during the fundraiser. It was great. All right, so that is an even wall thickness. I got to figure out where I want to take that. I'm kind of, let me see. I'm kind of the opinion, I'll take it a little bit thinner. Not a lot though. I do like when I do rims like this, for the rim to slope inward. Around that edge and around this edge too when it's down to its final thickness. But I want to work in stages. Don't want to get too far. Even though this is seasoned, the thinner I get, the more the wood can move and wobble while it's spinning around. So I lose my, or did I put it away? Good, I put it away. A little gnat. So I want to work my way down all the way around. I don't typically turn bowls where I start in the center and start carving the bowl all the way out, because you're moving the mass that's supporting all this stuff. And once you start getting to a thinner wall, I mean, it probably works fine with, thick bowls, but on the thinner bowl, you want to work in stages so you avoid the vibrational issues you can have that will give you a messy cut. And especially on green wood, when I'm working green wood, I'll definitely go in stages because of that very issue. I don't know, I'm thinking I'm thinking maybe I'll keep this a little bit thicker bowl. Huh. It's kind of looking nice. It's even. Alrighty. So I'm going to say, well, I don't know, man. I'm like on the fence. I like my bowls to be a little bit thinner, personally. Yeah, I'm going to take it down a little bit more. Hopefully, I guess I am. Let me see. Let me move. Whoops. I mean, I know you can see the overhead there, but you can't see over my shoulder when it's in the way. There we go. I'm not in the way now. Yeah, I'll go with that thickness. That's okay. It's still thicker than I usually make my bowls, but it's not terrible. And that's just my aesthetic. I don't think, I just don't want my bowls to look clunky. I don't want them to look clunky and like a lump. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with thicker bowls. I just don't want my bowl to look clunky. So it is a nice, pretty piece of ash. Now that I'm working in stages, I can't go back. I'm starting, even though it's a thicker bowl, I'm starting to see just a little bit of flex to it. It's not a lot. It's not messing up my cut yet, but if I go any thinner, it might. So I'm just going to leave it that way. But especially on a green bowl, like I said, I want to work my way down in stages. So once I get my thickness for, I don't know, ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch, I don't mess with it anymore, and I keep working my way down. I don't go back because that's problematic, especially if the bowl is oscillating.
MPAVE question graph equals Twitch.
The coffee Bob. All right, let's get that in a little closer. I want to get as close as I can because I'm hanging off the tool rest down here to get into this corner a little ways. And while I'm thinking about it, I should see what my depth is. Oh, plenty of space. Beautimous. there is my bottom. All right, so from this point, I'm going to use negative rake scraper that I need to touch up the burr on. Okay. Very nice. Then I just got to finish off the bottom. A little bit thinner in the bottom. Just need to make it a little bit thinner in the bottom, but very, very clean in there. Very, very clean. So I can see that crack, that split right there is showing up. Definitely can see where I filled on the outside. Doesn't show up on the inside. But I actually made the wall thickness a little bit thicker than what I was planning for when I filled that in. So shield crap here. Always wanted to try wood turning. The mess it makes keeps me from doing it. I think there was a t-shirt that said sawdust is man glitter, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, it definitely. But I use the shavings for a lot of things: walkways, compost, not the and weed barriers, especially with walnut, because it has so much tannic acid in it. It keeps the weeds down. So there's a lot of use for it, and there's a couple turners that have enough volume of it that they make pressed wood pellets or pellet stoves with it. You should see the mess you get turning resin. That is a mess. Okay, I'm liking this bowl very much. Just need to get a little ridge right there. Whoop. Almost lost my tool to the shavings. And I'll take that. And there is nothing I need to sand other than this little bit of this crack, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I may leave it alone. So let's spin this guy around and finish it off. Oh wait, before I do that, thinkity think, we need to round our edges. And for them, I don't want Any sharp edges. I'm getting a little bit, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I'm getting a little bit of oscillation in the bowl. Even though this is ash, even though that is what 3/8 of an inch thick. So something you always need to pay attention to. I'm using a really, really light touch here. There we go. And then I suppose I can do this. So I've got the rim sanded, got the bowl sanded, except for the very bottom of it, which I'm going to take care of once I flip it around and cut the tenon off. Nice. All right, so I've got a split in this guy right here, well, where I glued it, but on the inside you can see that it was starting to travel in the wood, not because I'm turning, but it was traveling in the wood in a slightly different direction, so that would, if I made this any thinner, that could potentially just split apart. So we're going to leave the bowl at the thickness that it's at. Wow, I got some nice figure in that ash, though. That's cool. Can't wait to buff that into existence. So my question is, do I, I'm just going to use a glue block. I'm not going to mess around and try to do a expansion hold. That guy's too big. This one will do. Especially with that split in there, I don't want to force it open any further. And I can't grab the bowl by the outside, although I could use a jam chuck where it's holding the bowl on the outside. But right now I don't have a jam chuck big enough, and I don't want to take the time to make one just for this bowl. So we'll use leather and a glue block. What do I do with my piece of leather? Where'd it go? There it is. And actually, I want to get rid of this. My favorite, actually, this is the woodworking tool I've used most in my life, is a pocket knife. There we go. And I'm not gonna punch a hole or center that. I'll just do it with the live center, which I need to grab right now. Yeah, that's a nice shaped bowl. The curve is just lovely. It's no flat spots. Yeah, it is a pity that it has splits, but it's also ash, so maybe everything will be fine. Come on. And we'll find the center for it here. Probably went too far. Yep. Sure did. Just got to move it in small increments to get. I don't understand why my tails on my headstock's not spinning freely, but let's see what that is. Still a little high there. We'll get it dialed in. Whoops, that was too far. Let's try that one. Hey, there we are. Got it. All right, so I just need to have the pressure of the tailstock against the headstock just enough that I can't spin this. I don't want it too much because then I'm pressing into the bottom of the bowl with that hard block down there, and I could leave an indentation. I don't want to do that. I just want the leather to hold that friction, have just enough pressure that I can turn. Whoops. I'm going to have troubles here in just a second if I don't drop that tool rest. And always, I'm only advancing the tool as fast as it can cut. I'm not trying to force it through the wood. It'll give you all kinds of different headaches that you don't want. Oh yeah, baby. Ah, I nailed that curve. It's got a little bit to catch up on, but I nailed that. That's awesome. Yes. Now, especially here, I'm not going to part that off. I'm going to cut that off. I'll part through it part way. Actually, I won't even do that. I'll just use since I don't have to worry about a foot or anything like that, and my bottom is round, I can actually just cut through that, and then I'll wind up sanding that separately. I just lost my Allen wrench again. Magnet on a stick. Awesome invention. Awesome invention. I do leave my shop. I do leave shavings, at least 3 or 4 inch layer of shavings on the opposite side of the lathe that I'm working on. So any tools that fall off will fall into the shavings and not onto the concrete or the padding that I'm standing on and booger up the tools. Okay, I need a face mask and a new piece of abrasive, and I can finish the bottom of this bowl. While I'm at it, I think I need to. Oh, maybe not. I thought I was going to turn on the compressor, but maybe I don't need to. Oh, new piece of abrasive. No piece of abrasive. There we go. That one is worn out. I love it when a plan comes together. Beautiful. All right, let's get rid of that tenon. Try to be careful so I don't mark up the bottom of the bowl too. Harder to do when there's a foot on it. But that's why I like using these flush cut saws, because I can bend the blade and it will still cut properly. And I can avoid scoring the bottom with the teeth of it. Alright, let's back that off. Take out the leather. Alright, no indentation or any damage to the bottom on the inside. That's a plus. Let's grab that. Oh, hell, what did I do with it? Did I drop it again? Nope, I set it over here. Alright, so I don't know if the jaws will go wide enough for this. I'm hoping that they will. Nope. Okay, no worries. I am turning on the compressor. Let's get this guy out. That guy. And it really doesn't matter how you remove the tenon. You can use a chisel, saw, you can part it, you can do whatever you want. I'm not saying my way is the right way, it's just the way I do things. I'm always looking to err on the side of safety. Err on the side of not beating the crap out of my body. Because I want to be able to turn wood until I can't. That means learning how to use the tools properly, setting myself up at the lathe properly for my physical constraints. Everybody is different. I'm a disabled vet. I have issues too, so I have to get things set properly at the lathe. I have to have my stance correct so I can move fluidly with the tool. Use my whole body to turn. I don't just use my arms, I use my whole body to turn. Well, I can unplug this guy for a second. I'm still going to sign this, and I think I'm going to finish this guy with boiled linseed oil. Let's see, I think That looks good right there. Now, when I started turning and I was keeping all my stuff, always, I don't know, I had at least, not in the early stages, but in some slightly later stages, I had ideas that I would try to sell my work, and I used to number every single piece. But I've turned so many pieces that it got to be just a pain in the butt. So I just put my name and the year that I turned it, and that's good enough for me. All right, so there we have a calabash style bowl. It's got a wide, slightly curved bottom. It can sit flat but still tip from either side and then go right back into its flat resting space. That is a calabash style bowl is basically a bowl that a group shares foodstuffs or whatever out of. Again, they're usually much larger than this, but that's the idea, is that it sits in the middle of a group of people. They can scoop out, tip the bowl a little bit, scoop out, go to the next guy, next guy, next guy, and then when they let it go to the bowl, it'll just go right flat. A foot would get in the way of that. Oh, let's take a look at this thing. I thought I saw. Well, maybe that would help. Nope, I thought I saw maybe another split, but I think I was just looking at that line right there. That's not actually a split. So cool. Another done piece. I'm going to set that aside. Grab another piece of wood. Okay, let's go with this guy. Get rid of some bar. Oh, this is the same stuff. Oh, I can't use that. Dang. I've got. So I always look at my wood before I start too. I want to see if there's anything that could cause me some injury or some destruction to the shop or whatever. There's a ring shake right there. And that's not good news. Either the tree, like there might be a bark inclusion in there, or it could be that the tree delaminated. The other issue is I've got a split that runs from here all the way down, and I don't know how far it goes in. So this piece I will probably cut in half lengthwise and use for handle material or something like that, a spindle work. Okay, so that one goes. Next, this lovely piece of cherry. Let's take a look at this guy. Okay, so those are some burn marks. I don't know what from. Looks like I got a little bit of some splitting action happening there. Definitely here, here, and here. I don't know where it goes, so I'm going to make this a smaller diameter piece to see if I can get rid of this. Maybe all of these, but definitely this one. It'll be a smaller piece, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, and then we got that. Well, doggone it. Let's see. You know what? I think what that means is that this is now the top, the open part of whatever, and I'll turn all that away. So if it's a rounded bottom, hopefully that will disappear, but that could just be a small bowl. And as you're watching, you'll see me too. I honestly, I stop often. I'm checking the wood as I'm turning to see, what might be coming out to show its face, if it's a nasty surprise or, or, well, let's just say if it's a feature that either will cause a catastrophic design change, or if it's a feature that will add to the design. I want to see that as soon as possible. So I will check my timber as I'm turning as I go a lot. One moment. Sorry about that. Needed to blow my nose. Okay, so I have not marked the center on this, although I think this might be the center here, that little hole, but there's nothing on this side. And I want this to be the top. There's some punky wood there. This is a piece of cherry. So I'm going to wind up getting rid of probably all the punky wood, which is a good thing. Since that's going to be the bottom of the bowl, I'm going to start with it on the tailstock side so I can get to everything. I'm not necessarily going to start on the balance point for this guy since it's already around the billet. Where's my tool rest? There we go. So I'll just get it in the ballpark. That's in the ballpark. Make sure it is secure in the lathe. Actually,
Open Stream Bot said, visit Dave Left's co-fi page at https://co-fi.com/HIIMDABE question ref equals Twitch.
you know, I actually let's see, if I cut, I can make a box out of this if I just flip it 90 degrees. I won't ever have to worry about that at all. I mean, I could make a bowl, it's not a big deal. But let's not say we did. Alright, I'm going to true this up really quick, and then I'm going to find a center line. Now let's measure a center line. 3 1/4. Yeah, we'll call it 3 1/4. So that would be 1 5/8 inches. There's my center line, and that will help me get the center, the points on the same plane. So let's see, I know that's going to go all the way down into there. So I want this here. You know what? I'll just start this off with. Oh, that's another thing I can do. All right, I'm going to redo this. find a spot. I want to go right about there. That's not secure. Come on. There. All right, so I want like somewhere right in here. So can I get that? I can. Let's go down a little bit more. That's too far. Then I'm going to use the lathe itself to get 180 degrees on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'm on the other side. I'll put that there. And both of those should be 180 degrees out from each other. Well, that's not going to work, Dave. You got to set the brake on it, man. Come on, bite in. There we go. All right, that'll do. Time to change to longer tool rest. And we'll get rid of all the trash. Trash. We'll get rid of all of the timber that is not the finished piece. That's probably just about right. Make sure all this clears. That does not. That clears. That clears. So even though I'm cutting mostly air, because I'm only advancing the tool as fast as it can cut, I'm not bouncing all over the tool rest. I'm not getting myself beat up. I'm going to say probably 99% of all the force is going right into the tool rest. I'm probably catching about 1%, maybe 2%. Makes for a much more pleasant turning experience. And quite honestly, better tool handling. So you see all that punky wood, a lot of beetle damage in there. A lot of beetle damage. Also because I'm cutting a lot of air, it's loosening the tool in the handle, which is one of the two main hiccups I have about the robust quick change collet system. The first is my shop is not heated in the winter. So this can only tighten down so far when it's cold. when it's cold enough, and it does get that cold out here, I can spin the tool. Even though this is cranked all the way down, I can spin the tool with my hand. So I go to my Thompson handle and use the grub screw Allen wrenches or Allen nuts to hold the tool into the handle. And then when I'm cutting a lot of air, it can loosen this thing too, and it'll try to spin on me. So that's the only two hiccups I have with this particular system. So that split's almost completely gone. Okay, cool. That was a good idea. You can see if you look in the camera in the upper left part of your screen, I got my stand set up. I know where my end cut's going to be, and it's for me that's a comfortable position. This is also a comfortable position, but I'm on my back foot, and I just lean with the tool. My arms aren't moving. I'm just moving on the balls of my feet, my knees, and my hips, and I can get a smooth cut, and it's a lot less stressful on the body. Do I want to make this any smaller? Because having a flat top is not a bad, or a flat side is not a bad thing. I do want to do something about that though, so let's move in a little closer. And should you take classes from me in the future, you'll hear that over and over, man. Don't beat yourself up. Turning should be enjoyable. Use your whole body to turn. Well, that's about round now, so I think, well, I don't know, that still might be all right. Still might look pretty cool. So I got a little bit of a split there, but there's a beetle track. I've definitely got a branch going in, although it looks like it's going straight in, I think. Well, no, it's going a little bit this way, a little bit angled this way. I think that might be the pith that branch starts from, is that little spot there. But I don't see the rest of the branch out here anywhere, so I'm wondering if that was a failed branchlet that just got covered over by bark, because that is really, really punky stuff. This would be like a better tool to use for this, I think, will be my skew, which I thought was smart. Hey, I brought it over here already. Give me a beautiful surface. There. Oh yeah, liking that. So I think I'm going to leave that little bit of rough edge there. Maybe. Again, moving only as fast as the tool can slice through the wood. That's a really, really nice surface. I really like the discoloration from the aging and the spalting. It's got some really nice coloration there. So this is going to be the lid. And I think I'm going to leave it that shape even, if I can get away with it. Let's see, I think I need to do 1 or 2 more passes. That looks really good though. No burr on my tool, still sharp. Some really nice figure right there on top of where I'm going to say the lid is going to be. That is awesome. Alright, so I need to do something about that. And something about that. I can sand this, which I'm going to need to. Well, I don't need to, but I'm going to. But that little divot there is going to give me some fits. Let's see, I could take this down. You know what? I'll just take down. I'm going to lose some of that flat surface, but I'll just take it down even further. I'll get rid of that one at least, I hope. Let's raise this back up. It's really not liking me going that direction. So I guess I'll go the other direction. I love these little curly shaders. I'm hitting figured wood right now. That's the branchlet right there that I just hit. Could feel the tool wanting to bounce a little bit because there's some figure in here that it's catching, but also that. So all this really hard wood here, this figure and this cherry, I probably should. It's still sharp enough. Get rid of it almost. So the reason you saw that peel up like that, yeah, I did lose that flat spot. Losing some of that coloration too. So the reason you saw that peel up a little bit is because I was cutting with the corner and not the blade. A little bit more. Cutting with the corner can get you right into accurate, tight corners, but it also can peel off a bit more timber. Okay, that looks good enough. That'll be okay. It's not. It looks like a feature. So now I just got to worry about that guy. Lovely shavings. Let's see. How do I want to do that? Hey, what the heck? Let's break out the red. It's cherry. Let's break out the red sawdust, and we'll fill that dude in. Be a red dot on the side. Or I could make a series of dots and add things. Yeah, let's do this. Lots of ways to deal with this. Wood Chevy in there. Oh, good. I kept the glove close by. So I'm really trying to pack this down in there. I'll probably need some more in a minute, but let's go with this first. I didn't quite get it all. There we go. And then, I want to do this. A little bit of abrasive to help clean that off. Put a little bit more red sawdust in there. I think this red sawdust, if I remember right, came from a lot of red heart I was turning some time back. But I think it's nice to have those different colors, and I don't have to have, plastic or some unnatural colorant or whatever. You don't have to spend extra money to buy something to fill a hole, because sawdust works just fine. So we'll shoot that up. I want to do something about this, so what I'm going to do is just hit it with some CA glue to stiffen that up, because that's kind of punky. Whoops. And I'll just keep going until it stops filling, or until it pulls up on the outside. Once it pulls up on the outside, I'll know that the wood is full. And that's full. It's not soaking down in anymore. And we'll hit that. Let's get all of it to set so I can clean it off easier. Okay. Now I'll make a pass across the top, clean this up. And another pass. One more light pass. I'm just shifting my whole body on my ankles, my knees and hips. Didn't leave it long enough to set. Started coming out of there. But it's flat now, so we're going to leave it the way it is. I'm going to hit that again with accelerant. And I broke through the part that was already cured. There we go. Now, oh, come on, seriously? That's not good. Okay, cool. Not cool there, though. I'll have to fix that later. So all that looks really good. Gonna run this guy across it. Oh, lovely. Okay. Now we're talking. So my question is, do I leave this on the bottom? The box won't stand up on its own, but it would be an unusual box. Or, I could make a stand for it and attach it to the bottom, and then this whole shape will stay. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. So now I need to figure out where my lid needs to be. Let's grab that to rest. What I like to do is have the grain line up when I have the lid cut. So I'm looking for, and that looks like a good area right there. So this grain will line up, that one won't, but that will. All this grain will line up, all of that. This won't so much, but still, and I'll keep that feature there. So I'll part it here. Actually, I want to keep all that, so I will part it here. Or does it really matter that much? Let's see. Thinkity, think, think, think. Okay, so the grain's going to line up from here to here. And the rest of this will be close. But all the rest of it will line up. So that works for me. I'm keeping most of that, but if I take this off, let's see what I get. Okay, so that will line up there. That'll line, so from here, which is one ring over, and then all the way to the same place there. Okay, so I'm gonna part out here to separate these two. Ooh, nope, can't do that. How am I gonna hold on to it? Well, I'll have to shape this lid another way, what can I do with this? Because looking at this, that's just some really nice figure and coloring. So I got to think about this for a minute. You know, maybe more than a minute. I'll have to eyeball this. I really want to take my time with this piece. It's a lovely piece of cherry. It's got some really, really nice figure in it and some nice spalting happening, some aging going on with it too. I want to be really careful what I do with this because I want it to survive. I'm going to have to cut into this so that I can have a place to hold it with the chuck on both ends. And I got to turn away where these divots are anyhow. I hate to lose that, but
visit Dave Wright's
here we go.
OFI page at https://code-fi.com/HIIMDAZE ?
So I do have a coffee page, KOFI, that the coffee stream bot there keeps bringing up. And it's a channel where you can donate to help support this channel.
Whatever it is looming coop.
Oh, thank you. The wood is pretty, isn't it? That's gorgeous wood. It's going to be a box. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to hold on to it to hollow everything out. And as much as I like this shape, I can always create that again later, I guess, with the I don't know. I'll figure that out. But right now I need to create a hold so that I can put it in a chuck. Oh, now you're supposed to be tightened down. Why aren't you? Do I have enough all the way around? Not quite. Enough that side. So probably I'm going to wind up doing some carving on this piece because I really like that lid, the curve on the what is going to be the lid. So we have to recreate that by carving. I think, do I have enough to grab onto all the way around there? Yes, I do. Okay, very good. So, since I'm here, let's give it a little dovetail action for the Chuck Yaws. Like that. So now I can hold that. I'm going to sit with this for a little bit. I think I'm just going to part it off here, but I'm a little disappointed that I'm going to lose that. I'll just have to recreate it. That's okay. So yeah, I'm going to sit on this for and just kind of eyeball it this evening. Let's see. That was where the tool rest hit, so I got a tool mark there. I don't know. So I'll eventually wind up parting it off somewhere in this area. This will be the body of the box. This will be the lid. And then I'm going to carve that saddle shape into the top anyway, because I really like that. And it displays this really, really nicely. Actually, if I'm really careful, I might be able to use this, leave this on the lid. Might even be able to do it on the bottom. So I'm going to sit with it. I'm gonna think about it and sketch out, do a couple things, and see what is the best outcome I can get with this piece. Because that is the goal. The goal is to get the best possible piece out of each piece of timber. Let's clean this guy off. It looks like we got a little dust on it. There we go. Let's turn that off. And we are pretty much right at the end of my broadcast time. So if there's any questions, please feel free. Actually, at any time during the broadcast. That's why this is live and why I have chat running. You can ask questions, make comments, what have you, which we have done back and forth with a couple of people. Great to see some of you back. Apetus, Tri-Ray, a couple others. Let me just look into chat. But we got a few minutes while I wrap this up. So anything you want to put in chat, any questions, I'll be happy to answer to the best of my ability. It's not going to let me see who's in chat today. There we go. My clicker isn't working.
That is, said nothing from me.
Madam Juniper, I haven't seen that handle before. Moko Maid, if that's the right way to pronounce it. I've seen you. Odd One Man, welcome back. Odd One Man, you're new to me. Welcome to the channel. Paranoid Squatch, hey, I know you. Ringbolt 070, you're new.
Said, once I start in the lathe at the maker space, I am sure I will.
Vicious Soldier, hey, that's an interesting handle. Thanks for coming to the channel. Once I start in the lathe at the makerspace, I'm sure I will. Yeah, please do. Please do. I love talking about turning. I love teaching. I love. I mean, the wood turning world. I think, in most cases, the wood turning world is pretty open and friendly world.
Hello, hands.
I'll wait for a second then. I did not get a notification of that. Dang it. Well, I'll hang on for a minute before I go any further. I don't know that anybody can hear me over the ads, so we'll just sit here and stare at the camera for a minute. I don't think so.
At least it was a short ad.
Oh, cool. Well, then I'll keep going. Thank you very much for that heads up. I've got to get that. I got to contact Twitch and find out why I'm not getting the notifications for when the ads play, because I'd really like to stop doing what I'm doing so that nobody misses anything that's going on. Just take that pause during the ad break. So once again, my name is Dave Reif. Hi, I'm Dave. I'm a wood turner, disabled veteran. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out I had a knack for it, fell in love with it, and here we are, I guess. Found out I also really love teaching, so I teach wood turning as well, and that's why I started this channel, to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, a better turner myself. And as I'm helping other turners improve their skills and all that, and their knowledge base, it cements those things in my head even deeper, so it gets more entrained. And the biggest thing is the secret sauce, man. The secret sauce is practice. So don't beat yourself up when you don't get something right the first time, or maybe even the second time, possibly the third time. I don't know. But practice will make the process easier and better, and make you a better turner. If you don't turn every once in a while, you're really not going to improve that much. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, there are hobby turners, and I mean, there's all kinds of turners. But if you want to step up your game, practice is the key. Getting the right instruction and practice. So anyway, having said all that, this week's Wood Turning Wednesday is over. I thank you all for joining me very, very much. I appreciate the support. It's huge. It's very awesome. I've only been streaming for about a year, a little bit over a year, and I'm really, really glad that I've met the community of folks out there that I have. Thank you all. I hope that you all stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you again. Tuesdays and Wednesday evenings, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. You'll find me here. Hope you all take care. Thanks again, and good night.